Welcome back. In more news from the state and the city, the usually peaceful Mylapore today got the jitters when violence broke out between two gangs. Two members of a gang engaged in a slugfest which took place right in front of many residents. These are the very first images you are now seeing on your screens. There was a period of brief tension among the public. 5 members of the gang were then arrested by the police in the area and the situation was brought under control. Now, pick a state like Tamil Nadu and one of the first few things that comes to mind is the supposed advantage that people from backward castes have in terms of the many reservations for them across fields, education or otherwise. 1/3 of it even goes to women through the Indian Constitution. However, even when it's argued that these reservations uplift women, there is a reality that will hit us once we step foot into the state's villages. Pratiksha Ramkumar brings us a break from a big misconception.
Dalit women presidents are not allowed to exercise their rights, exercise their powers, and they are not even allowed to sit in the chair which is intended for the president.
Yes, you heard that right. 18 years after a provision of reservation was made by the 73rd Amendment in the Indian Constitution, which makes seats for Dalit women mandatory in Panchayat polls, the sad state of these Dalit women Panchayat presidents has seen no signs of improvement.
But real problem is the upper caste people do not recognize the powers vested or power given to the Dalit Panchayat president.
On the other hand, there are the brave ones who've suffered while fighting their battle only to survive and lend a helping hand.
மக்கள் வீடு முதல் கொண்டு அடிச்சுன்னு போயிடுச்சு மேடம். அப்போ வீடே இல்லாமல் மக்கள் தவிச்சாங்க. அப்படி இருக்கும்போது இது முக்கியமாக பாலத்தை ரெடி பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு அரசாங்கத்திட்ட மனு கொடுத்து ரெடி பண்ணேன்.
Much of this is attributed to what is seen as upper caste arrogance. These very Dalit presidents await the 2011 Panchayat elections with sheer determination, hand in hand with human rights forums, vowing never to be suppressed by the upper caste. In Chennai, Pratiksha for NDTV Hindu.
Now, has the Domestic Violence Act been made gender neutral? Eminent social activists spoke about this very pertinent issue today, and our reporter Lokpriya got talking about this social menace with a few of those panelists. Here's what they thought about the state so far.
Joining me today is an elite panel where they have discussed just now about whether the Domestic Violence Act needs to be gender neutral. Ms. Sudha Ramlingam, if I can come to you first, do you think that there is enough protection for men when it comes to domestic violence?
Definitely, any man or woman, we have the Indian Penal Code where assault, battery, hurt, simple hurt or grievous hurt or attempted murder, even murder, are all gender neutral laws where they can get enough punishment for the woman if she is a perpetrator. Gender specific law of the Domestic Violence Act is a civil by nature, and section 498A or Dowry Prohibition Act, which are criminal in nature, of course are gender specific by and large, and these are very essential because woman still is voiceless and faceless and is being abused constantly more than the man who is the woman is the victim.
And Mrs. Uma, if I can come to you as someone who have been working extensively on families and family issues. So do you think this Domestic Violence Act in itself is actually set out to achieve what it was formed for? Does it address the problems of domestic violence, be it men or women?
No, actually our Domestic Violence Act is nothing but a clone of Western Violence Against Women Acts, and it has been proven beyond doubt that those laws were utter failures in their own country in containing domestic violence against women. On the other hand, they have actually promoted abuse against men, they have promoted human rights violations against men, children and other women. And then finally they also have been discredited to the extent that they are now looking at amending them.
Now, the temple town Madurai is synonymous for the beautiful jasmine flower that's adorned by kids and women alike. But with lesser crop turnout and lack of profitability of late, farmers have been left with no choice but to give way for the big builders to take shop. Sam Daniel says the scents may not linger for too long in the district.
The Madurai Malli, as the city calls its famous jasmine, literally being nipped in the bud. Once they were flowering farms. Now being converted to housing plots. Ramaswamy has decided to sell his 5-acre farm to a builder because shifts in climate and pest attacks have brought the yield down to merely 30%.
மகசூலே முன்னாடி உள்ள மகசூல் இப்போ வந்து இல்லை. அதனால வேற என்ன செய்யறது? இன்னைக்கு உள்ள சூழ்நிலைக்கு நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சாப்பிடணும்.
A decade ago, jasmine was a 5,000-acre crop in the temple town with an annual turnover of 150 crore. Now the supply shrunk to less than half as more and more farmers either sell out or switch to more profitable crops.
இல்லை இதை பார்த்துட்டாவது வேற வேலை கட்டட வேலை அப்படி வேலையெல்லாம் செஞ்சு பிழைப்பான் அப்படின்ற ஒரு காரணத்துக்காக தான் செய்யும்.
The worst hit, exporters of jasmine extract, a sought-after ingredient in perfumeries around the world.
எங்கே விலை கம்மியாக கிடைக்குது அங்கே அவங்க பர்ச்சேஸ் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிடுவாங்க. மதுரை மல்லிகை என்ற பேர் அழிஞ்சு போயிடும்.
If there's no intervention to save the jasmine, a trip like this sometime in future will just be made of memories of what was once Madurai's fragrance. With camera person Chandran in Madurai, Sam Daniel, NEWS-NDTV.
Well, not quite a rosy picture there. Still ahead on the bulletin, Chennai is all set to have its own Shaquille O'Neal. Find out who's camping at the basketball courts this time.